thank you all very much for attending.
The international collaboration on Project MinE, which will identify the cause of the deadly disease ALS, kicks off with a room full of scientists and fundraisers from 15 countries. With all these people now on board, Project MinE has become the single largest DNA research project worldwide.
The problem with this disease is we don't know what the target is. We don't know what we're shooting at. We need targets, and these targets are going to come from genetics. I'm absolutely convinced.
To find a genetic cause of anything, you need large numbers. Many genetic variations are very rare, particularly the ones that you find by sequencing. And unless we have large numbers of samples, we won't get the statistical power to do the analysis properly. So we have to team up.
We have about 200 ALS samples and 200 controls.
We collected 1,200 patients for this project, specific sporadic ALS.
We have currently more than 4,000 DNA samples.
We have to join together. I think it will be very difficult for any one individual group to make significant progress on their own.
Another benefit of teaming up is that we all work to the same template, we all work the same way, and in the future, if we need to drill down into the data to analyse it in more detail, we can do that because everything's been collected according to the same procedures, with the same definitions, and it all makes sense when analysed together.
The pace of science seems very slow. People are working really hard around the world, trying to do something about it, but if you're actually facing the disease yourself, it's very slow. And I think the two patients that started this project off, they're first of all talented entrepreneurial businessmen, but they also want to cut through the nonsense and just get things done quickly.
Bernard Muller and Robert Jan Stout are two born entrepreneurs who immediately after being diagnosed with ALS decided to take an in-depth look at the disease itself and at ongoing research aimed at finding a cure.
Wij kregen op een gegeven moment een rondleiding in het nieuwe laboratorium bij Leenaert. En een van die onderzoekers deed een grote Amerikaanse vriezer open. Het lag vol met DNA-profielen. En toen vroegen wij van joh, wat doen jullie daarmee? En die man die zei eigenlijk van ja, niks, tot voor later. En we hadden zoiets, ja, later, dat hebben wij in ieder geval aan. Heb je hier niet de spreekwoordelijke hooiberg liggen waar we de naald uit moeten halen? En die man die zei, ja, dat klopt.
This research was difficult to organise and extremely expensive. At least, this is what Muller and Stout were told at the time, standing next to the freezer full of DNA profiles.
When we started this about 2 years ago, we were told by almost everybody that what we want is impossible. And now, 2 years down the road, we are already the biggest DNA project in the world, and we have people from 15 countries here today in Holland to get them hooked on to Project MinE. And to me that shows that impossible doesn't exist.
The international collaboration established by Project MinE makes the impossible now possible. But the challenge they are facing remains huge.
We will come out with large numbers of data that we have to interpret. Obviously, we need a computer assistance. We need to really re-establish a new way to read the whole story.
We need to utilize the information, and to do that wisely, we have to think about raising funding or doing work on genome analysis, on understanding it and translating it. And translating it is really what we have to do. So, lost in genome translation, let's not go there.
It's new research, so it's expensive research, but it's important research. So a major challenge of the whole project is to achieve all the funding necessary to have major results.
We're seeing the scientists working more closely together, and the funding agencies around the world should also be willing to put their money jointly to support these big initiatives.
We are here to talk about international collaboration, to see what we can learn from each other and see what we can do, especially for the Project MinE. The last 3 years, the Netherlands has been quite successful in raising money because we went up from 1.4 in 2011 to 2.7 in 2012 and 6.5 in 2013, so quite amazing. First, the confronting campaign. It's very good to get the awareness up to 90% in Holland. So that is ALS on the map, and then if we look on ALS off the map, we need of course the money. And the last 3 years we made big progress because of 2 really big events, like that's the Amsterdam City Swim and also the Tour du ALS, which also raised 1.3 million. So together from the 6.5 last year, there was 3 million raised by those 2 initiatives. So I said, please copy if you think it's a good idea.
What's unique about this project is it is creating a public fundraising initiative specifically to fund a single project. Many public fundraising initiatives, especially around disease-oriented types of things, are to go into a big pot. So the ALS Association say, donate to us, and we will distribute the money to research projects that we think are valuable. This is different, where they're saying, donate, and this is where it's going to go, to this specific research project.
I might weaken with my body, but my mind gets stronger every day, because I can see that with the efforts of patients involved and the positivism that we bring and the hope we also bring to patients, I get a lot of energy, but I also get a lot of energy when I see that we can inspire scientists and foundations to think more entrepreneurial and think of ways that were never thought before by them.
Most of us have tried to do it within our own countries, with our own patients, and we haven't been able to solve the sporadic form of the disease. And that's the familial form of the disease has had a lot of success in recent years, and that has driven the discoveries and our understanding of ALS to date. But the sporadic form of the disease has been a really hard nut to crack. And with the new advances in sequencing technologies, and now something of this scale of collaboration, it gives us the opportunity really to have a go at cracking sporadic ALS for the first time. So to be a part of that, that's exciting for us as scientists, because it provides the hope that one day this disease will be solved.
I have knowledge as to how to do my part, and I know that if we form the right kind of group and we do the right kind of research, we can cure this disease. And the expertise that most people such as myself have is generally applied to general problems. It's not usually specific to ALS or anything else. And the result of that is we never really get to see an answer. This is the first time I've got the opportunity to make a difference.
I'm very happy that they feel like that, because imagine that you are doing your work for decades and not getting any closer to where you want to be, a cure for ALS. To me, that's unbelievable, and I don't understand how these people stay motivated. And now, for the first time in decades, there's real opportunity and real hope that we'll finally solve this puzzle.